episode 1. We did not cover the show for the first season. I think we were all unaware of it when it was actually airing, and we stumbled upon it through Andrew watching it, recommending it. Boyd's in the chimney well. I don't know if it's a well or a chimney. Do we know what it is?
It looks like a dungeon. What do they call that? An oublie?
Oubliette.
This is what's called an oubliette. That's French for a place of forgetting.
And I think he was an oubliette.
Or like, Buffalo Bill's going to show up with a basket and a bottle of lotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Harold Perrineau, he's probably over the age of 45. So using your back and your legs to shimmy up might be a little difficult, but that's eminently doable, right?
Yeah, I didn't understand why he gave up so quickly when he did that. Unless he hurt himself. Because remember, he was acting weird in the last episode, like he was getting weaker or something was messing him up.
Oh, I thought it was like soul despair. But yeah, maybe he had a twisty ankle. But yeah, I mean, a chimney that tight, you got your legs, you got your back, you can work yourself up.
Well, I wouldn't want to do that, but your life's on the line, so
there's going to be a lot of lactic acid buildup, and you're probably going to chafe yourself raw doing it. But you know what? If it's between that and putting the lotion in the basket, I'm going to do that, He crawls up out of the well, and Old Man Rivers chained to the wall, right? My first thought was, who the fuck threw the rope down?
I figure it was piled up next to it, and he kicked it.
So if I go back and in editing, I see that he is within a leg kicky range.
Well, the rope could have been coiled up near his foot, and he just kicked it really hard, and then it...
I thought there was going to be some ominous shit coming from him, because the Old Man River was oh, you have a gun, that's good. I thought he was going to be because you're going to need it. But no, he just wanted him to shoot him.
Well, I thought he might have been one of the monsters that just wanted out or something.
That's before they showed the dude chained up to the wall, and Harold heard the voice and pulled the gun just coming out of the well. I'm like, it's happening. My prediction is happening. It's going to be a talking, creepy 50s zombie, and he's going to team up with him. But that didn't happen. Unless it did.
My biggest question was how is that guy still alive? Who's feeding him?
Well, he's in the cellar, so it's got to be somebody's cellar.
Or he's like a monster and he's just perpetually tortured.
So he was like a 50s smiley, slick-looking zombie, and then they chained him to a wall for whatever reason.
No, I think he's from Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Because remember the paintings showing the Celtic stuff? So I think he might actually be hundreds of years old.
They should have given him an accent and made him like a conquistador.
I was going to say, maybe he should be speaking in Old English.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
The bus shows up. The first we see of the bus is the black young man who's on there. And I'm still trying to figure out whether they're doing flashbacks. And I know that Lost, one of the things they did, they went into deep dives of this is this person's life before they got into the... So I'm thinking, is that a really bad representation of Sheriff Boyd as a young man? And, that was relatively quickly dispelled. But I thought they were going that way initially. He's got some pre-science.
Isn't it pre-sentience?
Prescience, pre-science. Yeah.
It's spelled pre-science, but I think it's prescience.
Hopefully it's not just random dude that has psychic abilities. Hopefully it's somehow, connected in some way.
He's one of the touched because he's connected to everything like the kid. The people on the bus are odd because it starts pouring rain. And instead of just getting right back on the bus, everyone just stands out in the rain.
Yeah, they're all just, let us in the diner. Just get back on the bus.
You have the other older lady that's dancing and cheering in the rain.
Well, I actually wrote a note that I ended up erasing later. And the note was, damn, I hope every single one of these tourist bus mofos dies immediately, starting with Crazy Grandma and, the bully guy.
Well, he was way over the top about that, but then he was a nice guy with everything else. He was an upstanding guy.
I think he's either a skinhead racist. I could see them doing that because he has short hair and he didn't like the black guy.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's because the guy's black. That's why he got so mad.
Or he really needed to get somewhere and didn't like the hold up. Or he just gets annoyed in crowds. But I liked how at the start of the episode, he was one way. And then they're like, we need people to come and help dig this man's woman out of the basement in these really weird situations. And he's like, all right, I'm in. And he was in. And he got a house thrown on him as a result. But yeah, they kind of redeemed him really quickly.
I lived with so many people like that. That's how they are, man. They just run hot. They get really pissed off, but they're also actual people with layers,
When you point out an inconsistency in a show that Rob likes, he immediately sets about explaining it in this really convoluted way where you're like, okay, yeah, that could have happened, but that's not what they were thinking. So, okay, here's my convoluted Rob explanation for why they were trying to get into the diner. Started raining, grandma started dancing, acting crazy, and they didn't just simply walk back on the bus. Here's why. Have you ever been on a bus like that? Like I played a lot of sports in high school, and we did road trips. And whenever you were on a bus like that and somebody took a shit in the bus, it just, yeah.
It does. It just sits there. I know.
You need to go.
And there was always room in the back of the bus to sit near the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to be anywhere near that. And it doesn't matter how many windows you open, because that just traps the air back there and like a miasma. The husband, he ran to the house and got the help, and there was the hole in the roof, and he's digging it out. The only note I really have on this whole thing is he ran there after the radio threat, because the end of last season was, why is your wife digging the hole?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he probably would have been more effective saving his wife, but his hair just keeps getting in the way, and his skinny jeans are just too tight. When you see somebody who's like 40 years old or older that has hair like that, you just want to like slap them.
He has a man bun.
He was like Blossom Russo's dad, just like, you're not cool. Take the earring out of your ear. You're not fucking cool.
I didn't understand how the woman that's treating the guy with the visions, did she not hear the house right across the street just like collapse and everyone's screaming? She's still just like, are you okay? You gonna be okay?
She's very focused.
Why didn't she immediately run over? Like, she's a terrible nurse.
The bus people... They had a red shirt who's now trapped under the house. He's probably going to be dead.
He's going to wake up and he's going to start screaming. And then the monsters are going to figure out that they're under the house.
I bet they're going to be trapped under the house for most of next episode. And yeah, that'll probably happen. It'll all be like the night.
Oh, it'd be great if they're there for the whole season.
Then we don't have to deal with the dad anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
The way you handle like Asian cop, now it's like you're the sheriff now, and he did a shit job, and then the colony mama, she was like, let me get my shotgun and fuck this situation up. Like, before she actually shot out the big bus tire, I actually was typing, shoot the bus, just shoot the bus. How does nobody disable the bus? That might be a dick move, but it'll kind of solve your problem a little bit. And then she shot the bus, so that was cool. I figure some of them have been there for a few years. You'd think they would have been a little bit more practiced in explaining to people. Rack the shotgun and be like, I need everyone to gather here in front of me. I'm going to say something, and you're going to think it's pretty crazy. But guess what, motherfuckers?
We watch too much weird stuff. So, like, when we have a friend that runs up and says, I've been living the same day for the last 23 years, we're probably going to listen and, like,
What show was it? I was so impressed with it. It was some kind of mildly comedic sci-fi show that I can't think of right now. But that was happening. And the guy that it was happening to grabbed a dude and was like, hey, man, I have a kind of a Groundhog Day situation going on. And he's like, all right, got it. What do we do? And, he just dove right in. He knew exactly what he was talking about, and he believed in, didn't call bullshit, and he just was there. That was cool.
We have code words and stuff all set up. So, like, if anything weird like that happens, or we fall back through time, so we know that things are going down, just so we don't have to like waste time to explain.
So they'll never make a movie about you and Rob, because you guys already got all the shit figured out. EMT knows the nurse girl, and the big Les connection is reestablished. The only really significant thing about that whole thing is what you said first time I really considered that, is that she was brought there to like increase the torture.
The misery. It's this place seems like a prison of misery.
And it didn't really increase the misery for either of those two, but the Asian cop was all like, I thought I was going to get some, but no.
I think something feeds on that's why they torture and stuff too. I really liked the interaction between the weird coder guy and the kid. I liked them together a lot.
Yeah, that was good.
I want the family to die, and then like he has to take care of the kid. That would be a good pairing.
I liked everything he did this episode very much. One thing, I had a thought when I was looking at him, is sometimes when you have a little kid on a show and you take, probably a year or more off between production, because you don't know if the show is going to get renewed, or maybe they bought it for a certain amount and they were able to dive back in right away. But, you'll watch a show and they'll have the in-between times, and you come back and everybody has completely different hair, and 3 people have gained a lot of weight, and the kid's now in puberty and shit like that. I didn't notice that at all for this show. Everybody looked really consistent.
It looked like they just kept filming. Yeah, same day.
Yeah, which, maybe they have.
Yeah.
Because, like Game of Thrones, they did a really good job in that they were able to throw a lot of good costuming and stuff over it. But like Bran, for example, his growth and aging, it was always a little bit off and weird. And when he's going through Victor's room and he comes upon the book, he was looking for the book. It was like a journal scrapbook and it had the symbols. And he's like,
and then the other night, I noticed 2 of the pages were stuck together.
And I immediately was like, oh, wait, he's talking to a little boy about a book with pages stuck together. This can't be going anywhere good.
I like that the little kid pointed out that the journal was in the photo that no one else had pointed out.
And then the lunchbox just down in the little corner. So that was a little child Victor in the Polaroid. And as I'm watching and not really paying attention, only kind of half-assedly to the pre-roll where they're like, last season, and they're showing it, one of the things they did bother to show was Tech Guy and the symbol. They showed that in the pre-roll. So I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, because when he went in that little room, it was on the ceiling.
Creepy fucking Howdy-Doody hand puppet.
I thought it was funny because they took one of the scariest moments from the first season of the guy screaming. And then the puppet looks like that guy, so what's going on with that? That's weird.
They showed that either in the previews or in a flashback as well.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
The dummy looks just like him. And he screamed just like him, too.
My first fear was that comedian Jeff Dunham was going to show up on the show.
On the stick.
That did not happen. Dummy showed up first when dude's thinking about trying to roll a joint with his last rolling paper. And my thought is, you're hallucinating already. You're already paranoid as shit. You're seeing things. Is marijuana really the drug for you right now? But he went ahead and did it anyway. And then the dummy happened. And did that dummy appear at all in any way in the first season and I just missed it?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is a new element. I wasn't 100% certain.
And then when they were in the caves underneath, it was down there, too.
And that freaked me out. I was like, oh, my God, this is obviously something important and not just, a blow-off scene like I thought it was. Wifey and Victor in the underground. They're going through the underground and it's dark and Victor's like, shh, shh. And the wife's like, oh,
what part of be quiet do you not understand, bitch? We're going to die.
He actually says, you'll wake them. And then he explains that they're underneath the town and that's where all the monsters are sleeping. And yeah, you said items. They stumble upon a suitcase and she opens it. And there's like a white nightie in there or something. Do we know what that was?
I don't know. The travel case with all the places. I don't know if we saw that in the first season or not. I don't recall.
That's weird. Am I correct in saying that the only time that something similar happened in the first season is when the wife found the bracelet and showed the husband?
Yeah, and she said, remember, this was my bracelet.
Yeah, okay, so they're walking around through the tunnels and he freaks out and then she freaks out and they take turns freaking out. And then you see some of the dead creatures, zombie, alien, whatever the fuck they are, sleeping. And I had a couple of thoughts. First thought is they need the Frog Brothers. Because exactly like what happened in Lost Boys, where they came up on the vampires and they were hanging upside down and they were still asleep because it was daytime and they stabbed him in the chest.
Good night, bloodsucker.
No!
They could have really used Edgar and friggin' Alan Frog.
Did you notice while they're sleeping, all their clothes are dirty and stuff?
Oh, they didn't look all shiny and clean, did they?
No, so that's all like a glamour they put on when they're walking around.
We've seen how they respond to bullets. Not very effective. We have not seen anyone take a machete or a chainsaw. So are they that tough, or have people just not really applied themselves appropriately, is what I'm wondering. They stumble into the chamber, and then somebody's like bowling.
What's up with the little cells there with the kids in there?
I think a show like this, whether it be Lost or this, whatever the answer actually is, assuming they, are polite enough to give the viewers an answer before the show gets canceled or whatever, it doesn't matter because, right now, looking ahead to when they finally reveal the answer, it could be aliens and they could do that, or it could be like a demonic hellscape Ravenloft thing, or it could be a hallucination from somebody who's, on the table getting CPR. Whatever they eventually come up with, it could be any one of those. And a good writer could pull it off and impress me, and a bad writer could piss me off. So, do you have an MVP of the episode?
I like Jade. Jade is like my favorite character.
Most interesting guy.
And I like the kid. The kid is not annoying.
Yeah, he did good. And, like I said, he wasn't like suddenly in between this season 15 years old and prepubescent or mid-pubescence. And he wasn't like Bran Stark. So that was good. My MVP for the episode is Daughter's boobs. Yeah, the whole show, she was either leaning forward directly into the camera, and when she wasn't doing that, she was wet and running. Do you have, conversely, a douchebag at the episode?
Oh, God. The family, just the father, the wife, and the daughter are all just, like, really annoying.
I was initially, when I came up with the concept of douchebag of the episode, I was going to say that skinhead-looking bully guy, but he kind of stepped up toward the end. So I went back to just the dad. Dad's a douchebag.